Hello and welcome to this week's Stitch of the Week tutorial. This week we are diving into the moss stitch, also known as the granite stitch or the linen stitch. This is, again, another one that has many names and honestly is something that so many people use. You will see this in so many patterns, and it's one of my go-tos for blankets because it does work up really fast. So the moss stitch is made up of single crochets and chains. So going in a little bit deeper, you can see that we have a single crochet. There's a chain here, single crochet, chain, single crochet. And then the next row, and then you just build. So it actually does make a pretty, like a thicker garment than you would think. However, it is also nice and holey, and it does work up so fast. So let's grab our hooks, grab some yarn, and let's dive right in. For the moss stitch, you want to work on any even number of chains. So go ahead and make your slips. Go ahead and make your slip knot as normal. And then just chain any even amount. So just 1, 2, 1, 2 until it is the length you would like it to be. 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2. Perfect. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to skip the first 4 chains. As always, this does not count as a chain that's on the hook. And then you have 1, 2, 3, and then here is your 4th chain from the hook. So again, not a chain over here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So then we're going to single crochet into here. We're going to go through the chain, yarn over, turn your hook so it's grabbing that yarn, pull it through. You have 2 on the hook, yarn over, and you are pulling through 2. Now what we're going to do is we are going to chain 1, and then you are going to skip 1. So skip this first chain here, and then go into the second chain right here. So skip this one into this second one. And we're doing another single crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, single crochet into the second. Go through, yarn over, pull through, 2 on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2. And then we're just going to keep going and doing that all the way down. So chain 1, skip 1, and then go into the second chain and do a single crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, don't make sure you're not skipping this one that is down here. This has already been a work chain, so don't count that in your skipping. It is this one. So skipping 1 and going into this one and doing a single crochet. And you do that all the way to the end. And since I have kind of a short little sample, we are already at the end, and you should have 2 left. So you're skipping 1 and you're going into that last chain and doing a single crochet. Now what we did at the very beginning by skipping and going into the 4th chain is we kind of created the same idea. So down here, we're kind of counting this as a single crochet and this up here as a chain. Now for the second row, we are going to chain 2, and we are going to turn our work just like you would a book. You can turn it the other way. There's nothing extremely wrong with that, but just for tutorial purposes, we'll keep it simple. So just turn your work. And what you're going to do is you're going to go into that first skipped chain space. So don't worry about this guy down here. The single crochet that you finished the last row, ignore it. We're going into this chain space and you are doing a single crochet. So put your hook in that space, yarn over, pull it through, 2 on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2. You're going to chain 1. And again, we're skipping 1 like we done that first initial row, but skipping 1 is skipping that single crochet from the row below. So just look for these chain spaces and you are putting in a single crochet. So chain 1, skip 1, which is that single crochet, going into the chain space and doing a single crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, and single crochet into that next space. Chain 1, skip 1 into the space. Now, as we get to the end, let's chain 1. And you see, like I said, that this kind of counts as a single crochet and a chain. So what we're going to do is skip 1, and we're just going to go into this chain space and do a single crochet. You're not going into any of the chains, you're just going into that space. Chain 2, turn your work. Now this is where it just goes so fast because row 2 is your repeat row and you just continue on with that. So again, we're skipping 1, which is this guy down here. Remember, we're doing a single crochet into the chain space from the row below. So chain 1, we're skipping 1, which is that single crochet, and we're going into the chain space. Chain 1, skip 1, and chain space. So all you are looking at from now on is just going into those chain spaces. Don't forget to chain first, and then you're going into the chain spaces from the row below. Chain 1 into the row below. Now, chain 1, we're at the end. So where we did that chain 2 at the beginning of the last row, you're just going in between there. You're not going into any of these chains. You're just going into this space. If you're worried about the edges being straight, trust me, they actually kind of just straighten on their own. They're totally fine. So chain 2 again at the beginning of a new row. And we are going to skip here and we're going into that first chain space, doing a single crochet, chain 1, chain space, single crochet, chain 1, chain space. And if you need to use your fingers to guide you, do it. It's easy to be like, oh, that's too tight. Oh, look, I can fit my finger through. So this must be the chain space. That's where I'm going. This is an easy stitch to do when you're watching TV or doing something else because you really can do it by feel. And as we get to the end of the row again, we're going to chain 1. And that chain 2 that we did at the beginning of the last row, need to separate here. Sometimes, so this is the in between, this is the single crochet. You can see that part of it wants to be over with the chain space. So now that's what the single crochet should look like. So I had to kind of move this little naughty guy right here over to where he was supposed to be. You can't be with your friends, I'm sorry. We're just going into this chain 2 space between the single crochet and these chains we did, and doing a single crochet. Chain 1 and turn. So diving into it, let's kind of stretch it out. You can see that where there are single crochets and there are chains, there are single crochets in the chains, and it just keeps going on and on like that. Now, if you want to do a variety, and this is typically the one that I do the most, is I will do this, but I will do this with a half double crochet. It doesn't always need to be a single crochet. Single crochet is the basic of it, but you can do this with a half double. Chain 1, go into the space, do a half double. You can do it with a double, you can do it with a treble, whatever you would like. The treble will be very, very gappy. Let me finish this row here so I can kind of show you a little bit of a comparison. So you can see up here that the double crochets or the half doubles are obviously going to be a bit more gappy than the single crochets, which you would expect anyway, right? And going in between them, I guess I should do another row so you can truly get the real effect of it. Not even a full row, we'll just do part of a row. You can see that this is obviously more gappy than these single true moss stitch. But I love this because it goes fast. Really, really easy to do. Thanks for joining me in this super quick tutorial on how to do the moss stitch. And I hope it inspires you to go and give it a chance. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.